Alright, to be honest, this is a deck that I actually backed this year on Kickstarter. I have had it since the end of September. We lost a pet last month, and it just kind of drained the life out of a lot of things, but I have been looking at this and patiently so excited to open this up. This is, I can't even remember what it's called. It's been so long. It feels so terrible. So I follow Jamie Sawyer on Instagram, and that's where I saw this deck, the Out of Hand Tarot. Thank you for reminding me. Her art style is so unique and so bold. I know she does a lot of tiles, and she's done a couple other tarot decks, and her page is so engaging to watch with everything that she does. So this is the only tarot deck I think that I've ever backed and received in the same year, so she really has the process absolutely down pat as far as getting decks to people. Out of Hand, as I completely drop it. Enter the Tarot. Out of Hand Tarot features 78 cards that invite you into the scenery. Experience the many ways we encounter lessons of the tarot through everyday interactions. A companion deck to Pocket of Peers created by Jamie Sawyer. So, doing this off camera so no one can judge me. Now we get into ripping it open. Plastic is sticky. 2-piece box. Ooh, she's edged it in yellow. I love how this looks like a composition book. Oh, and it looks like she's got fun little Easter eggs. So anybody who's, I think I've mentioned it in almost every video, I'm a big proponent of reading the white book, especially that comes with Kickstarter indie decks, not so much like the mass market small decks that don't have the big book. But you bought the book because you bought the deck because of the author, the artist and creator, and their take on the tarot. So getting their thoughts and the special changes that they made and why, I think really enhances the story of the particular deck that you just bought. Look at these. Look at that yellow. Oh, in the back. So much color right off the bat. Okay, get this. I learned today that these are called belly bands. And this is what truly drew me into the deck. I love getting immersed and literally looking down at the deck as if it's your own two hands, that you're looking at what you're doing, just spoke volumes to me. And the first time that she announced this, I backed this immediately. How better to get immersed into the card and to journal about it when you're truly putting yourself in the card as if you're doing this with your own two hands, and even noticing the differences. Maybe you don't have tattoos or you don't believe in them, but what would it be like if you're looking down at this and you did have tattoos? Well, how is that a perceptive change for you? I mean, just stunning artwork. I love that Empress. Kind of a different take. The Emperor. Questions on the symbols of tarot, as well, we're always looking into them. Quite an interesting take on the Lovers. Seems more supportive or guiding than any kind of romantic link. Love that action-packed chariot. The strength with the line, and it looks like definitely those are some age spots, so an older hand. Looks like as they're sewing the blanket, maybe. I live in Michigan and we have a horrible construction season that's still going on even though it's been snowing for the last 3 days, and I feel this down to my very marrow. It's interesting how certain tarot cards can invoke such a strong feeling, and this one, I feel this with every instance of my bones. I love the little details like the Libra ring on her finger. The Hanged One looks like they're in a harness, and that's a ceiling fan. I love the little touches of the death. That you have the flower and still have the white horse, but very its own interesting take. The devil there with the two cuffed hands kind of holding each other. A tower. Star, that's a very peaceful star. The moon, how it's in the reflection. Fascinating. Oh, that's a very happy sun. Judgment. I love it. What strikes me is that the finger's pointing back at the horn, but then it's reflected back on the person. The World. And the Ace of Wands. Getting ready for a trip, to be sure. Yeah, so even these two tell such an impactful story, and we're only 2 cards into the minors, right? So here we are obviously thinking about a trip, maybe because we have a new passion, desire to travel or to learn or to paint somewhere new. And we go right from, you know, the 2's kind of the formation, the very formation of the idea, where it's still mostly in the ether, to the 3's of planning it. And that story in this deck is just remarkable. 4 of Wands, that celebration. Seven of Wands, no entry please. I mean, that's just a stunning. 8 of Wands, all that creativity and color just bursting off the page. But the 9, maybe we worked a little bit too hard, harder than we should have. Push the boundaries a bit. I love the rollerblades. This knight has a lot going on. It looks like it might be a fireman. Love that queen, but I'm partial to any deck that has a cat. But I love the illumination on the hand. Right, that illumination of creativity that we're both shielding to grow, but it's still shining around our hand and illuminating it even as we keep it cupped. And the little, it almost looks like a succulent ring. I think it's gemstones, but. King of Wands, maybe rocking up at Red Rocks in Colorado. The Ace, our cup is overflowing. 2 of Cups. Seven of Cups is one of my top favorite tarot cards and is one that I usually look into before I decide if I'm going to buy a deck if they have the artwork available. I love how there's almost a ticket system here, like movie tickets, and then the different choices in the back. Oh, they're prizes, so they're not movie tickets, they're arcade tickets. Eight of Cups. 10, setting the table before a family dinner. Oh, that's an adorable Page of Cups. Knight of Cups. Ooh. Queen, so instead of doing candle work, now we're doing tea leaf reading, which relies on a lot of intuition from what I understand. I haven't studied tea leaves. King of Cups, definitely with the tissues in the box, I'm getting like a therapist vibe. And the little fish on the cuff there. So it's very opening and engaging. The hand out puts me in a mode of sharing or conversing. Ace of Swords, all of the new ideas. Multitasking with the twos. Libra symbol on the phone. But that kind of frantic, again, this is the start, and this is us trying to put it into place, and all the ideas in the background. Having a rest and recharge moment. Or we're back at it in a different direction. I mean, and just this, again, evoking the evocation of the emotion with this one, where it's the hands, that they just take them off the face or put them on. It's that late night, you're pushing yourself too hard, too far, you need to take a breath and back off. You see the frustrated scribbles in the bottom. Absolutely love it. Oh, Ten of Swords. With a tattoo. I am desperately wanting tattoos, especially now that I got off of blood thinners this year. Page of Swords, it looks like a podcast, the sharing of ideas. But the Knight turning into that very revolutionary assault kind of forward momentum of thought. Queen of Swords, a little bit more organized here from the Knight. King of Swords. I love that it's the scissors of it, but maybe it's a change in plan. We finally mastered all our thoughts and what we want to do with it. Ace of Pentacles, sharing that bounty, handing it, giving it over. That's cute. It looks like an apple and an orange. How do you compare the differences? You don't. They just coexist. Building with the 3. 4. Oh, putting it into a safe. Okay, gotcha. Counting pennies, past due. 6, helping out. Baking, stamping, jewelry. The bubbo in the background, both of them. The Knight looks like they're in a gym. Oh, and the Queen is sewing. That King counting their money, their wealth. So the cardstock is nice. I don't feel like it's too flimsy. It has a really nice feel to it. When I hold it with a thumb and forefinger, I don't feel like the card is trying to crease around my finger. There's definitely some sturdiness to it, to all of the cards. And even though that the edges are painted, none of them stuck. Give this a shuffle try to, again, this is a thicker cardstock. See, even I caught that card pretty hard on my thumb as it came down, and the card's just fine. But what I love about this is that I'm not feeling any give to the painted edge. There's also, it's probably not going to pick up on my camera, the slightest little shimmer to the edge, which I do absolutely love. So a brilliant, amazing deck by Jamie Sawyer. I just love how it takes you in, invites you into each and every card. I feel like this is a great beginner deck. It's a great master deck to just sit down and journal with and to really connect. What are these cards telling me emotion-wise? You know, what is it like to connect to the people in the deck? I don't have children, but if I put myself in here, you know, what am I feeling or looking at in other relation to the cards? And really just opening it up, opening the cards up and holding space for you to truly, truly step into it. Because again, it's just like, especially when you're holding it in your hands, like these are your hands and it's you doing the action. And that's such a powerful journal prompt to also acknowledge that it's you doing it, but invite you into the lives of these other people that you might not be in the same kind of lifestyle. So I really look forward to working with this deck. But let me know what your thoughts are below if you backed the tarot deck, and if you follow Jamie Sawyer on Instagram. And if you don't, I highly, highly recommend it. She has some amazing stuff, and Tarot of Peers is one that I wish I have, but I don't yet. So that is Out of Hand Tarot. Thank you very much for joining me, my tarot tarts and tartlets. Let me know your thoughts below.